There's a new kid on the block in the world of cheap electricity tariffs, and that's Tomato Energy, offering rates as low as 5p per kilowatt hour, including VAT. In this video, I'm going to have a look at what Tomato Energy has to offer in detail, who might want to consider switching to them, who might want to avoid switching, and of course what I'm going to do and why after looking at the numbers. I've been away for the last couple of weeks of the summer holidays and I'm a bit late in getting this video out. So now I'm playing catch up. Okay, no more of that, let's get into the video. Who exactly are Tomato Energy? Tomato Energy are an electricity only energy company based in Hampshire. Looking at Company's House, we can see that Tomato Energy have previously gone under the name of Logicor Energy and Marigold Energy Supply Limited. They changed their name to Tomato Energy on the 29th of December 2022. What about their Trustpilot score? They score 4.3 from around 200-ish reviews. That compared to E.ON's 4.4 from over 100,000 reviews and Octopus Energy's 4.8 from around 350,000 reviews. And looking at some of the comments, it looks like getting replies and much sense from their data on the MyWatts website is challenging. It's also worth noting that they are currently being investigated by Ofgem over concerns relating to their provision of data under the energy price guarantee. Okay, so if you can see through some of that murky water, what rates and savings can you expect to be rewarded with? This is their website, and you can get a quote from here. Simply start typing the first line of your address and click on the full one when it comes up. I have solar panels, so it's suggesting I have more than one MPAN. After choosing my import MPAN, it takes me to this screen. It's defaulted to the Tomato Lifestyle tariff. The other options are Tomato Prime, Tomato Agile, we've heard of that one before, and yes, you've guessed it, it's pretty much like Octopus Agile tariff, Tomato Intensity, and Tomatopia. Tomatopia is interesting. By signing up, your household receives solar panels and batteries, with no upfront costs, electricity usage included, and your bills secured for 10 years. Only £80 per month. Given what we've said about Tomato Energy's sketchy history, I'd have concerns about whether they'd still be around in 10 years' time. Filling out the eligibility section doesn't really tell me much more information without giving them some personal details. If they do fold, what happens to your solar panels, batteries, and tariff? They'll be covered by Ofgem, but it's definitely something you'd want to look into before signing up for that. The cheapest option for me, as you can see, is the Tomato Lifestyle tariff. On the right hand side of the screen, you can see that you can improve your tariff, answer these questions, and we will design a tariff around your lifestyle. I had a bit of a play around with this earlier, and if I click that I have an EV, it drops the monthly cost, as I get an extra hour of 5p overnight and some slightly cheaper slots during the day. There is no change if I add that I have solar panels and battery storage, but if I unclick the EV option and just say I have solar panels and a battery, the unit rates actually go up. Work that one out. Moving on, I suppose I'm classed as a 9 to 5 worker, as the other options don't really apply to me, and I have gas central heating. Scrolling down, we can have a closer look at the numbers. At the time of making this video, you can see that between midnight and 6 AM, so 6 hours, you'll pay 5p per kilowatt hour. I mean, 5p per kilowatt hour for 6 hours is pretty amazing, and takes us back to around 4 years ago when Octopus offered 5p per kilowatt hour with Octopus Go, or 4.5p per kilowatt hour with Octopus Go Faster. But even those Octopus tariffs were for less hours. The day rate then kicks in, and the rate rises to 23.16p per kilowatt hour. You then get a couple of 2-hour slots from 9:30 to 11:30 AM and 10 PM to midnight, where the rate drops 13.37p per kilowatt hour. That's all pretty good so far. But the most impressive thing for me is this standing charge rate of 40.82p per day. I mean, that's just crazy low, and around a 30p saving each day when compared to the 71.2p per day I'm paying with E.On. That's about £110 saved in standing charges alone. And what's more, these rates are fixed for 12 months with no exit fees. Okay, the Tomato import tariff looks fantastic and pretty much unrivaled at the moment. But what about export? Well, this is when it all starts to fall apart a bit. Tomato Energy doesn't have an export tariff option currently. This means if you do switch your import to Tomato Energy, you'll have pretty low export payment options. Higher rates of export are typically available for customers who have their import with that company. For example, with E.On, I get paid 16.5p per kilowatt hour of exported electricity, but this would fall to a measly 3 pence per kilowatt hour if I didn't have my import tariff with them. Although Tomato have hinted that they are working on an export tariff, and I'll be keeping a close eye on further updates on that. By the way, around 95% of you who watch my videos aren't subscribed. If you like the content and you want to get updates on new videos on topics just like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Back to the video. So, who currently offer the best export tariff options, which are available to everyone regardless of who your import is with? First up, it's British Gas and their Export and Earn Flex tariff, which pays 6.4p per kilowatt hour. It's important to know that this is their variable tariff, meaning the export price can go up and down, but there are no exit fees. Next up, it's So Energy with their So Export Flex tariff, which pays 4.5p per kilowatt hour. Again, this is a variable tariff and there are no exit fees. Finally, we have Scottish Power's Smart Gen Export tariff, which pays 12p per kilowatt hour. And like the two before, it's variable and has no exit fees. Okay, looking at those options, you can see that by quite some distance, Scottish Power's Smart Gen Export tariff, which pays 12p per kilowatt hour, is the best export only option. That's quite a bit lower than my fixed export with E.On at 16.5p per kilowatt hour. But will that make a difference? Let's take a closer look at the numbers to see whether that improved off-peak import rate of 5p per kilowatt hour is enough to offset the lower export rate. Using my tariff comparison spreadsheet, I'm going to compare a combination of Octopus Go / Flux. If you're subscribed to the channel, you'll know that I didn't just used to stick to Octopus Go for the whole year round. Around April, when the days get longer, I'd switch to Octopus Flux to maximise our export payments, and then to Octopus Go in September, October time when the sun has gone AWOL. E.On EXTRA V3 that I'm currently on, and finally Tomato Energy's Lifestyle Tariff as import, and Scottish Power's Smart Gen as the export option. I can do this by entering my system spec details here, peak and off-peak consumption, pre-solar and battery here, and the tariff peak, off-peak rates, standing charge, and export rate here. If you want to have a go at running your own numbers, you can download the spreadsheet via the link in the video description box below. And thanks again to the hundreds of you who have subscribed and downloaded the spreadsheet already. So for Octopus Go during the months of October to March, I'm going to enter the peak rate, which is 22.41p per kilowatt hour, off-peak rate 8.5p per kilowatt hour, and standing charge 69.14p per day. The export rate is 8p per kilowatt hour on Octopus Lite. For Octopus Flux, we import very little peak rate 4 to 7 PM electricity, and so have completely omitted this import rate from the numbers, instead using the day rate of 21.28p per kilowatt hour as the peak rate, with the 12.77p per kilowatt hour being used as the off-peak rate. The export is a bit trickier, but it worked quite well in my previous videos estimating this figure. For E.On EXTRA, the peak rate is 28.56p per kilowatt hour, off-peak rate 6.9p per kilowatt hour, and standing charge 71.2p per day. The export rate is 16.5p per kilowatt hour. Lastly, Tomato Energy Lifestyle Import Tariff. The peak rate is 23.16p per kilowatt hour, off-peak rate 5p per kilowatt hour, and standing charge 40.82p per day. And the Scottish Power Smart Gen Export Tariff, which pays 12p per kilowatt hour. Once completed, I can click on the Get Results button. You can see that all the data we input on the previous sheet has been used and broken down into 3 tariff sections. In these individual tariff sections, you can see the peak, off-peak, and total daily cost before solar and battery installation. Under this are your figures after solar and battery installation. The most important bit of this subsection being the total monthly balance, which is simply the monthly saving plus the monthly export payment. Finally, you'll find the total year import cost, export, total year savings, payback, and ROI numbers. I've also added in a total year standing charge. You'll also notice that some of the cells are filled green, and this highlights the best saving result across all 3 tariffs at a glance. Looking at the numbers for these 3 tariffs, E.On EXTRA version 3 produced the largest total year saving over both the Octopus Go, Flux, and Tomato Energy and Scottish Power combinations, owing to both the low cost of imported electricity and decent rate for exported electricity throughout the year. Tomato Energy's import cost over the year is only £166.12 and is a saving of £51.27 over the year compared to the E.On tariff. The biggest saving comes from that standing charge of just over 40p per day, as I mentioned before. However, the excellent export rate of 16.5p with E.On is what saves the day. Okay, so for me, it doesn't make any sense financially to move from E.On to Tomato Energy Lifestyle Tariff for import and Scottish Power Smart Gen Export Tariff, as we generate and export a lot more electricity than we import from the grid. I think even if the savings were slightly in the favour of Tomato Energy and Scottish Power, I'd still be wary. One of the main reasons for this is the fact that the Smart Gen export tariff is variable and could change at any time. Furthermore, we already identified that Tomato Energy are a bit of an unknown entity, and their customer services, or lack of it, have been flagged by customers. And the Trustpilot scores for Scottish Power speak for themselves. And I'm pretty gung-ho about having different suppliers for gas and electricity, but having my gas with Octopus, electricity import with Tomato, and export with Scottish Power may be too much even for me. Okay, so having no export option is pretty pants, and it looks like if you generate and export a significant amount of electricity, you're best sticking with E.On or Octopus Energy. And if you're thinking of joining E.On or Octopus Energy, we're offering an extra £20 from us on top of the £50 that you get from them. I'll drop some further details and the referral links in the video description box below. If you do choose to use our referral link, then thank you, it really does help keep the channel going. But could the Tomato Energy lifestyle tariff be suitable for some people? Yes, absolutely. If you have an EV only plus or minus battery storage with no solar, then this super low import tariff could really work well for you, saving you a load of money. If you have an air source heat pump, then the off-peak slot at 5p per kilowatt hour and then the two slots at 13.37p per kilowatt hour could really work well for you. Similar to Octopus Energy's cozy tariff, you can keep your home topped up with heat during these times. Another scenario where this tariff may work well is if you have solar panels but you generally import a lot more than you export, or if you're on a feed-in tariff or FIT payments. It's definitely tempting and people are switching. So much so that there's a small but growing Tomato Energy Facebook group of members who have made the jump, sharing their experiences so far. I'll drop a link to this group in the video description box below too. Tomato Energy are pretty unknown, and their rates are way below their competitors. Are there any risks, and what's the worst that could happen? Well, Tomato Energy could go bust. If this happens, Ofgem will announce which new supplier is taking over. That new supplier will put you on a new tariff, which might be more expensive than your old one, but you can switch if you're not happy with your new supplier or tariff, and you can do this without paying any exit fee. However, you could be locked into that tariff whilst your new supplier takes over and you recover any credit on your account. Another risk is that with prices due to rise in October, if you jump onto one of Tomato's plans now and they go bust, you could well find you need to join a more expensive tariff option after the price rise. That said, I think if I were on an import only tariff and I was a high importer of electricity, I'd probably take the risk and switch over. I think for me it would have to be at least £100 to £150 saving over the year to make it worth it. But everyone has their own number of how much of a saving is worth the effort and risk. With an export tariff in the pipeline, it's definitely one to watch, and I'll let you know if I make the jump. Whatever you think of Tomato Energy, it can only be a good thing that there are more companies trying to make their tariffs more appealing for customers and promote competition in the energy market. I think this video and whether people would contemplate switching is really going to divide opinion. So let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on Tomato Energy, whether you're tempted and why you're switching or staying where you are. I hope you found that useful. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do take time to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to find out why I switched my electricity provider from Octopus Energy to E.On after 5 happy years, you should definitely watch this video over here. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.